What is civil engineering? Civil engineers combine creativity with imagination and technical expert to design our work environment. As a civil engineer, what will you do? Designing sustainable building and bridges, developing transport system, providing clean water, energy, food and shelter, holding a world resilient to climate change. Civil engineers are improving the quality of the built environment for all. Are these things you want to achieve? Do you like developing ideas to change the world, applying math and science in an imaginative way, collaborating on challenging tasks, questioning how things are designed and built, using technology to find the most sustainable solution? Since your ideas turn into reality. What civil engineers do? Civil engineers design major transportation projects. Civil engineers conceive, design, build, supervise, operate, construct and maintain infrastructure projects, including roads, buildings, airport, tunnel, dam, bridge and system for water supply and sewage treatment. Many civil engineers work in planning, design, construction, research and education. They analyze long-range plans, survey reports, maps, and other data to plan and design projects. They consider construction costs, government regulation, potential environmental hazards, and other factors during the planning and risk analysis stage of a project. They compile and submit permit applications to local, state, and federal agencies, verifying that projects comply with various regulations. They oversee and analyze the result of soil testing to determine the adequacy and strength of foundation. They analyze the result of tests on building materials such as concrete, wood, asphalt, or steel for use in particular project. Civil engineers prepare cost estimates for material, equipment, or labor to determine a project economic feasibility. They use design software to plan and design transportation system, hydraulic system and structure in line with industry and government standards. They perform or oversee surveying operations to establish building location, site layout, reference point, grades and elevation to guide construction. Civil engineers manage to repair, maintenance, and replacement of public and private infrastructure. Civil engineers also must present their findings to the public on topics such as bid proposal, environmental impact statement, or property description.
Work ethic is a set of moral principles or values that an employee abides by and uses in their job performance. It covers an employee's behavior and attitude towards their job, career, and the workplace. Some of the primary elements of a strong work ethic are professionalism, integrity, respect for the work and fellow teammates, timeliness, and discipline. This value of ethic molds a person into a more responsible and more determined individual. It impacts all the activities of their day-to-day life. Work ethics in the workplace is even more significant as it directly impacts the job's quality or the output. When a person has the respect for the work and the workplace, they naturally become more productive. They use the company resources, value time, show better performance level, and drive the company towards success. Work ethics among employees in a workplace. The first one is clear goals and objective. The goal should be measurable and maintain a fixed time frame. It should be challenging and at the same time achievable. It must be well accepted by the team members before implementation. Next is proper mentoring. During the maintenance process, ensure effective communication by conducting one-on-one meetings or timely team meetings. The third is set a good example. If ethics are poor at the top, that behavior is copied down through the organization. In other words, you should always practice what you preach. We are more likely to follow or do something relevant to us and have a good motive behind it. When you motivate your teams or lead them, you should always go back and forth and see if you have a good example. Next is create the right environment. A disorganized workspace means disorganized work habit. A sloppy work environment equals sloppy results. And then professionalism. The essence of professionalism is the focus upon the work and its demands while we are doing it through the exclusion of else, which are ethical, organized, communicator, trustworthy, accountable, and reliable. And then discipline. Discipline is the bridge between goals and accomplishment. It is one of the core elements of work ethics, and management must be very particular about the aspect. And then understand your employee needs. A culture of constant feedback. Feedback is an essential part of the workplace communication cycle, and hence constant feedback plays a vital role in nurturing an environment with good work ethics. Honest and constructive feedback is essential for any organization to build a culture for continuous improvement. And the lastly is fuel their spirit.
There are three types of water resources. First is saltwater resources, second is groundwater resources, and lastly is surface water resources. The example for saltwater resources is seawater and ocean. The example for groundwater resources is well. And the example for surface water resources is stream, lake, pond, and river. Water resources are sources of water that are useful to humans. Water is important because it is needed for life to exist. Many uses of water include agricultural, industrial, household, recreational, and environmental activity. Virtually all these human use require fresh water. 97.5% of Earth's water is salty, but only 2.5% is fresh water. But 2/3 of fresh water is locked in polar ice cap and glacier. This leaves only 0.5% in our lake, river, and groundwater for agricultural, industrial, and personal use. Surface water resources will be stored in dams and water storage area and subsequently processed before clean water is supplied to the agricultural industry, manufacturing industry, urban area, and residential area. Dams construction has been done by civil engineer. The elements that to build a dam is gate shaft, intake structure, pressure tunnel, manifold, powerhouse and transformer, sludge chamber, access tunnel, upstream cofferdam, downstream cofferdam, flushing tunnel, dam body, spillway, terrace tunnel, and outlet structure.
might not aware that civil engineering is a major profession that has broad field including water resources. So people might be wondering who contributes in this field. What kind of civil engineering contribute in water resources? There are four major engineers that are specific kind of civil engineering that related to water resources, which are water resource engineer, water engineer, hydrological engineer, and environmental engineer. What are the roles of these engineers? Water resource engineers advise on sustainable use of resources to users by conserving water, building dams, and conveying water. They are planning to ensure holistic, integrated management of water which balance the needs of nature with these uses. Water engineer is someone who deals with provision of clean water. Their jobs involves repairing, maintaining, and building structures that control water resources. For example, sea defense wall and reservoirs. Hydrological engineers is known as hydraulic engineers that work to control natural water resources such as rivers, lakes, and beaches. Lastly, environmental engineers. Environmental engineers evaluate the water balance within the watershed and determine the available water supply to make sure that water needed for various needs in that watershed. They also develop solutions to environmental problems such as water pollution or water infections disease.
Water resource engineering is a specific kind of civil engineering that involves the design of new systems and equipment that help manage human water resources. Some of the areas water resource engineers touch on are water treatment facilities, underground wells, and natural springs. Water resource engineers must create new equipment and systems to increase the effectiveness and efficiency of water treatment and aquatic resource management. A typical workday involves the analysis of data from relevant areas, then designing new or improved facility to enhance the cleansing effect of the water treatment system. A water resource engineer must take budgetary constraints, government regulation, and other factors into consideration when designing this system. A water resource engineer may then oversee the construction and implementation of this system to ensure that they are properly assembled. After completion, they may manage the maintenance of the system. Most water resource engineers work full-time, with many putting in more than 40 hours a week. This extra time allows them to properly oversee projects and assure that everything is running smoothly.
Water resource engineering give benefit to environment and society? Yes, people are not familiar with water resources engineering, and some of them did not even realize civil engineering contribute in clean water they drink. Are you surprised? There are more benefits of this engineering field that will make you shocked. Water and sediment regime within natural ecosystem are major factors in determining health and sustainability of environment and comfort to society. Well-designed and maintained built environment provide an additional essential economic and social benefit. Everyone in the world needs clean water to drink and for their daily uses. As an engineer, it is our responsibility to provide solutions.
New water restrictions have been imposed in Cape Town, South Africa.
In India, rising temperatures threaten to make a severe water crisis there even worse.
The greatest global risks of our time, the shortage of water.
By 2050, the United Nations says more than 5 billion people could be facing water shortages across the globe.
Normal is gone because populations around the world have grown so large. Normal is gone because humans are now changing the climate, and we're in a completely new set of conditions and environments and extreme events.
You can look at water problems and easily work yourself into a panic.
We're talking about 95% of the population is actually living today in a country that has less water than it did 20 years ago.
There are many problems that occur due to bad water resources that can affect the environment and society, such as not enough water supply in daily life, erosion, poor irrigation, disturbed ecosystem, flash flood, and drought. These problems are affected by human population that is growing, thus increasing the demand of clean water. Variety of water resources management and strategy to address the water challenge that occur. Engineering solutions such as building dams, spillway, sluice gate, energy dissipator still in the scene. Benefit of water resources engineering to environment and society. First, providing access to clean water. Second, provide proper sanitation. Next, providing water for irrigation. Next, offering protection against flood. Next, allowing power generation supply. Improving quality of water resources. Reducing pollution and give community access to green space.
Do you know about civil engineering? Yes, I do know a little bit about civil engineering.
Yes, I think it's not something new among university students as it is very famous course.
Are civil engineers important in our daily life? From my point of view, it is because most of our daily life activities use structures such as road, buildings.
Yes, of course it's important because civil engineers build infrastructures like roads, toilets, buildings for all of us.
Do you know what are the roles of an engineer, of an civil engineer?
Okay, from my knowledge, civil engineers have big roles on improvising and protecting the environment in which we live. So I think they have planned well the construction and maintenance of building, structure and infrastructures.
Some kind of to construct something that is useful and can benefit others to make life more easier.
Do you know about water resources engineering?
No.
I don't think I know about water resources engineering.
Are you familiar with hydraulic structure, such as weir, spillway, sluice gate, constrictor, or energy dissipator?
I've heard it, but I don't know what is it.
I'm sorry, but I haven't heard any of them.
Is there any organization that relate to water resources engineering that you know?
I think I'm familiar with this one. Syarikat Air Johor.
Organization that relate to water resources engineering, among of them Ministry of Environment and Water, Malaysian Water Association, MWA.
What exactly the role of engineers and the challenges of the 20th century?
The role of engineers, among of them, are to solve the problems and innovate, and also to translate the disruptive ideas and technologies into reality, which do not compromise the safety, quality, health, environment, and also bylaws. The challenges, the engineers need to equip themselves with several skills, including the technology, the soft skills, such as leadership, and they have to keep updated with the latest technology and regulations.
Based on your experience, what are the characteristics that must be present in being an engineer?
Talking about the characteristic that must be present in being an engineer, leadership and interpersonal, such as honesty, trustworthiness, engineering traits, such as math and computer skills, organized and attention to detail, critical thinking, creativity.
Training employee on company standards is one of the ways that can be practiced in developing work ethic. Do you agree with this statement?
Yes, training employees on company standard is one of the ways that can be practiced in developing work ethics. In fact, the International Standard Organization, ISO, has put a guideline that the employees training is one of the important things in order to ensure the organization stay competitive.
Civil engineering are everywhere. Even civil engineering is in the water that we drink. It is all around us. Civil engineering is not just dealing with the constructions of buildings, roads, bridge, or railways. It has a wide field, and one of them is water resources. It is clearly that civil engineering have done an amazing job, that they build the quality of our lives. So, as we live in the society, we need to be more aware about them and appreciate what they have done and make them to step up and lead their effort to make a difference, make a differences in the future.